Hello students, today's topic is soaps and detergents. This is the last topic of chapter 4, carbon and its compounds. First, let's revise esterification and saponification reaction. Esterification reaction is the reaction between carboxylic acid and alcohol to form ester. Example, ethanoic acid reacts with alcohol in presence of the acid catalyst to form ester and water. Here ethanoic acid is a carboxylic acid, ethanol is an alcohol, concentrated sulfuric acid acts as catalyst and ester ethyl ethanoate is formed. If we want to reverse this reaction, then we can do hydrolysis of the ester. The alkaline hydrolysis of the ester gives the corresponding salt of the carboxylic acid and the alcohol. Here the term alkaline means that the ester reacts with an alkali, that is NaOH, so that the carboxylic acid salt is formed and alcohol is formed. Since this reaction is used in the preparation of soaps, therefore this reaction is also called saponification reaction. Now coming to the main topic, soaps. Soaps are the sodium or potassium salts of long chain carboxylic acids which has cleansing property in water. These long chain carboxylic acids are also called fatty acids because they are obtained by the hydrolysis of oils and fats. Just as we have seen the hydrolysis of ethyl ethanoate, same way if we hydrolyze oils and fats, then fatty acids are produced. Now what are oils and fats? Actually oils and fats, they are the esters of long chain carboxylic acid with glycerol, which is an alcohol. Example of the oils and fats includes palm oil, olive oil, castor oil, linseed oil and many more such examples. Now next we come to the preparation of soaps. Soaps are produced by heating the animal fats and oils which are the esters only with concentrated sodium hydroxide. This process of making soaps by using fats or oils and alkali is called saponification reaction. In the reaction, we can see vegetable oil or fat, which is an ester, reacts with an alkali to form the sodium salt of fatty acid, which we call soap, and glycerol is produced, which is an alcohol. Now coming to the example of soaps. Two very common examples of soaps are sodium stearate and sodium palmitate. Let's see their structures one by one. So first is sodium stearate. Its chemical formula is C17H35COONa. Sodium stearate soap. This is the sodium salt of long chain saturated fatty acid called stearic acid. Now students, in this slide, the first diagram is having COOH group, which is the group of carboxylic acid. Whereas in the second molecule, we can see that here COOH is not present, rather COONa is present. Okay. So first one is an example of stearic acid. This is a very long chain carboxylic acid having carbon-carbon single bond. You can see everywhere these gray atoms, they are the atoms of carbon, and in between gray carbon atoms we can find only single bond is present. So therefore it is a saturated long chain fatty acid known as stearic acid. Now from this acid, if we remove this H plus and in place of this H plus we put sodium ion, then what do we find? We find that the sodium salt of stearic acid is produced, and we call this sodium salt of stearic acid as sodium stearate. This is a very common example of soap. Next example is sodium palmitate. Sodium palmitate soap. This is the sodium salt of long chain saturated fatty acid which we call palmitic acid. Again students, we can see that here this is a long chain of carbon where carbon-carbon single bond is present, and this is the carboxylate group which is present at one end of this chain. This carboxylate group is present with the sodium ion, therefore this is a sodium salt of palmitic acid. Next we come to the structure of the soap. Now see students, a soap molecule has two ends with different properties. There is a long hydrocarbon part. We can see here, this is a long hydrocarbon part which is hydrophobic in nature, or we also call it lipophilic tail. Hydrophobic means it does not dissolve in water. It is water fearing in nature, but it is lipophilic in nature. Lipophilic means it is fat loving. Okay. So this hydrocarbon part of the soap molecule, it can easily dissolve in the oil or grease or any other hydrocarbon, but it does not dissolve in water. Since this is very long chain, therefore we also call it tail. Then there is a short but round spherical structure which we call the head, and this contains the carboxylate ion with sodium cation. This end is hydrophilic in nature. Hydro means water, philic means loving. It means this part of the molecule loves water. We also call this part as lipophobic head. Why lipophobic? Because it does not dissolve in fat. It is fat fearing in nature. Now, next we come to the alignment of the soap molecules. When soap is present at the surface of the water, this is the surface of the water and these are the soap molecules. When soap is present at the surface of the water, the hydrophobic tails, these are hydrophobic tails. The hydrophobic tail of soap will not be soluble in water, and the soap will align along the surface of water with the ionic heads in water and the hydrocarbon tail protruding out of the water. But what happens inside water? Inside water, these soap molecules, they have a unique orientation that keeps the hydrocarbon tail away from the water molecule. This is achieved by forming cluster of molecules in which the hydrophobic tails, they are present in the interior of the cluster, whereas the ionic heads, they are present on the surface of this cluster towards the water. We call this spherical structures as micelles. Thus, what are micelles? Micelles are the spherical structure of the soaps where hydrophobic end or the tail of the soap molecule is towards the center, whereas you can say that the hydrophobic tails, they are towards the center, while the ionic hydrophilic ends, they are facing outside. This is the sphere, they are facing the outside. These micelles, they help in cleaning the dirt, oil or grease from the cloth. Soap molecules or micelles, they are very big structures, and so this forms an emulsion which is a colloid in water. And since the surface of each such micelle bears same charge, that means negative, everywhere this is the negative carboxylate ion, right, on the surface of the micelle. So because they all, similarly if you have another such micelle, that will also have the negative charge present on the surface. So because of the ion-ion repulsion between different micelle molecules, what happens that the micelle do not come together and precipitate. Now, since the soap solution is a colloidal solution, therefore they scatter light. We have seen this in class 9th that this property of the colloids to scatter light is known as Tyndall effect. These soap solutions therefore appear cloudy. Now next, coming to the cleansing action of the soap. Now children, when a dirty cloth is put in water containing soap, then the hydrocarbon end of the soap molecule in the micelle attach to the oil or the grease particles present on the surface of the dirty cloth. We can see here, this is simple a soap molecule. There is no dirt present in it. When this molecule is added to the water, that means when inside the solution we have such micelles, okay. When we put a dirty cloth in this water containing the soap solution, then the hydrocarbon tail adds to the oil or the dirt, okay. It gets attached to the oil or the dirt. In this way, the soap micelle entraps the oil particle. As you can see here, this yellow dot, this yellow part is the oil particle, and you can see these long soap molecules, okay. How the soap molecule is entrapping the oil or the dirt in itself. So in this way, the soap micelle entraps the oily particles by using their hydrocarbon ends, and the oily dirt gets collected in the center of the micelle, as we can see here. Now, the ionic end of the soap molecule, they remain attached to the water even after the dirty cloth is agitated in the soap solution. The oily particles present in the micelle gets dispersed in the water this way. You can see here these oily particles, they are getting dispersed inside the water, okay. And they get away from the cloth, due to which the cloth gets cleaned. So here we can see how the missile is entrapping the oily droplet in it. Next, this part is not in your course, but still it is something very important to know nowadays, that how soap works on coronavirus. Children, we know that the soap molecule have two ends. One is the hydrophilic end, or we can say lipophobic head, and the another is hydrophobic or lipophilic tail. Water is polar in nature, therefore this head of the soap is attracted towards water, whereas this tail is hydrophobic in nature or lipophilic in nature, therefore this gets attracted towards the lipids. Now what are lipids and where is it formed? Lipids are the fats or oils type particles which are present or which makes the surface of the coronavirus. We know that viruses, they have a protein coat. Okay, so this is that made up of lipid only, that protein coat also having the lipids in it. Now what happens when we suppose if our hands they get somewhere from the virus, then if we add soap and water, that means if we wash our hands with soap and water, then what happens? What happens, child? That the soap molecule, it binds to the fatty lipid molecules or the fatty lipid membrane. As you can see here in this part, the soap molecules, they are coming closer to the virus protein coat, and the soap molecules, the hydrocarbon part of the soap molecule, it is entering or it is getting inside the fat. That means we can say that the soap molecule gets bonded to the lipid membrane, and on the outside of these on this soap molecule, we can see that the water droplets, they get attached. Now when we rub our hand, we push, we pull, right? After it is said that for 20 seconds at least we have to wash our hands, and that too vigorously. So that push and pull, this breaks the virus membrane apart, and once the virus membrane is broken up, the virus get destroyed. This is how the soap works on coronavirus. Now coming to the uses and benefits of soap. Students, we know that soaps are used for washing hands, bathings, clothes, even cleaning utensils also. There is one benefit of soap, and that is these are 100% biodegradable, and therefore they do not cause water pollution. Next is the limitation of the soaps. Children, we have experienced that when the water is very hard in nature, that means it is containing calcium and magnesium salts in it, then the soap does not give leather with this water. That means the soap is not suitable for washing clothes with the hard water because of the two main reasons. Now this part is very important from the exam point of view also, because they usually ask you what is scum and how is it formed, why soap cannot be used with hard water. So the first reason says that the large amount of soap is wasted in reacting with the calcium and magnesium ions of hard water to form an insoluble precipitate called the scum before it can be used for the real purpose of washing. We can see in this reaction, this is a soap molecule. Here this is calcium ion which is coming from the hard water. This calcium ion is reacting with our soap molecule and it is giving us calcium stearate, because this time the soap is sodium stearate. So it is giving us calcium stearate, which is a precipitate. Okay, this is insoluble precipitate and we call it scum. Now the second reason why soaps are not suitable for washing clothes with hard water is that the scum which is formed, this sticks to the cloth being washed and then it interferes with the cleaning ability of the additional soap. So this makes the cleaning clothes even more difficult. Now the next topic is detergents. Detergents, they are like soaps only in their cleansing action, but they are structurally different from soaps. Detergents are the sodium salts of sulfonic acids, or they are sodium sulfates or ammonium salts with chlorides or bromide ions of the long chain hydrocarbon containing 12 to 18 carbon atoms. These are used to make shampoos, products for cleaning clothes. Now these are non-biodegradable and therefore they causes water pollution. This is one of the limitation of using detergents. Example of detergents includes cetyl trimethyl ammonium chloride. The structures are not important for you all. Another example, sodium dodecyl benzene sulfonate and sodium lauryl sulfate. We generally find this sodium lauryl sulfate in our shampoos. Now coming to the advantage of detergents over soaps. First advantage is that detergents can be used even with the hard water, whereas soaps are not suitable for it. Detergents, they have even stronger cleansing action as compared to soaps. And the last is that detergents are more soluble in water than soaps. But there is one disadvantage of detergent over soap is that detergents are non-biodegradable, that is they cause water pollution, whereas soaps are completely or 100% biodegradable and they do not cause water pollution. So here we ends up with the last topic. Thank you girls.